Namaskaram, Sat Shri Akal, Adab. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Matri-bhumi ke Sapoot. The main intention behind creating this YouTube channel is to perform the tasks that are not done properly by the mainstream media. The mainstream gaudy media is busy impressing their political masters. But here in this YouTube channel, we do not propagate any such political agendas. Instead, we debunk them. Matri-bhumi ke Sapoot stands for truth and justice. So here, in this first episode of Matri-bhumi ke Sapoot, we are about to discuss the untold historical accounts of ancient and medieval India. So when we talk about pre-independence Indian history, what are the first things that come into our mind? First, the British Raj. Second, the Portuguese. Third, the Turks. And last, the Arabs. And many more. So who are Indo-Indians? What was India before foreign invasion? So here in this video we are going to cover two very important battles that are considered as the turning point in the history of Middle East and Indian subcontinent. First one is the Battle of Martand Sun Temple 726 AD. Second one is the Battle of Rajasthan 738 AD. The first Islamic conquest of Kashmir. The Martand Sun Temple or Surya Mandir is an ancient Indian temple dedicated to Surya, the chief solar deity in Sanatan Dharma. The word Martand is another Sanskrit synonym for Surya or sun. It is now in ruins as it was demolished multiple times. The temple is located 5 miles from Anantnag in the Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. In the nearby Matan Chowk, named after the ancient temple. Anantnag town there exists a modern Hindu temple complex around a picturesque lake, Kunda, with several shrines, including one dedicated to Surya, crafted in marble. These are in active worship administered by local Kashmiri Pandits. This is considered a successor to the ancient temple. Geologists claim that the temple was first built around 370 to 500 CE, but by whom, nobody knows. Most of the sources of present-day Indian history are taken from the Arab chronicles, British documents, Chinese chronicles, Greek writings, and other 19th century European and Indian historians. In 726 AD, Caliph Hisham ibn Abd al-Malik, the 10th Umayyad Caliph, ordered Al-Junayd ibn Abd al-Rahman al-Muri, the Arab governor of Sindh, to destroy all the Kufar worship places across the Indian subcontinent and the Chinese peninsula. Al-Junayd himself led an army of Arabs and Turk Shahis. The invading army plundered the temple complex. It is said that then the ruler of Kashmir, Raja Lalitaditya Muktapida, was completely unaware of this sudden attack and initially had to retreat. Historians said that the Karkota kingdom had good diplomatic relations with the Turk Shahis, who were earlier Buddhist and Sunnis, later converted to Islam after the fall of Zunbils or Rutbils during the Arab invasion of Zabulistan. Within a month, Lalitaditya returned with fresh troops from Orissa. It is said that his attacks were immensely brutal and the Arab-Turk troops had to retreat. Some records also claim that he chased the retreating army and also captured territories from the Turk Shahi dynasty. Returning back to Kashmir, he started reconstruction of the Martand Surya temple, which was completed in 756 AD. The temple was again destroyed in the year 1402 by Sikandar Shah Miri. Now it's the War of Rajasthan. It's also known as Second Indo-Arab War or the first Umayyad campaigns of Rajasthan. The term Hindu or Hindustan was first coined by the Malacca Arabs, referring to the land of Himalaya and Indus River. Hence, the term Hindu did not exist in the ancient Vedic and pre-Vedic Sanskrit literature. The Arab chronicles describe the people of the Indian subcontinent as Hindus and were considered as infidels and had no concept of organized religion. After being defeated by Kashmiri Raja Lalitaditya Muktapida in the Battle of Martand Sun Temple in 726 CE, Al-Junayd ibn Abd al-Rahman al-Muri, under the orders of the Umayyad Caliph, marched towards Rajasthan from Sindh with a huge army of 30,000 soldiers. With the breakup of Gupta Empire around 550 CE, several parts of the Indian subcontinent were controlled by warring states, which attempted to fill the vacuum created by the Guptas. Among these were Yashodharman of Malwa, the Maitrakas of Pallavi, and the Emperor Harshavardhana of Thanesar. Emperor Harshavardhana brought the whole of North India under his control in the 7th century. But by the 8th century, India was again divided into several kingdoms, the most powerful of which were the Bhoja Pratihara kingdom of northwestern India, the Pala kingdom of central and northeastern India, and the Chalukya kingdom of southern India. Sindh was controlled by the Raja Dhir of the Rai dynasty, although his kingdom too was convulsed by internal strife. Meanwhile, Muslims had conquered most of West Asia. The Umayyad Caliphate attempted to conquer the frontier kingdoms of India, that is, Persia, Kabul, Zabul, and Sindh, but were repulsed. However, in 712, Umayyad general Muhammad ibn Qasim, the nephew of Al-Hajjaj, conquered Sindh. From Sindh, Umayyads attempted to expand into Punjab, but were defeated by Lalitaditya Muktapida of Kashmir. In the Battle of Rajasthan, that is fought between 738 to 740 CE, Raja Khalboj, also known as Bappa Rawal, was the king of Mewar, the king after whom the historic city of Rawalpindi, present-day part of Pakistan, was named. When the Rajput messengers gave him the information of sudden Arab attacks, he immediately started preparing his small army, around 500 to 800 soldiers, to fight the invaders. Nagabhata I, the king of neighboring Bhoja Pratihara kingdom, knew the strength of Arabs and their policies of temple demolition, forceful conversion, and slavery. Hence, ignoring their ongoing native rivalries and realizing the more prominent threat of religious persecution by Muslims, he sent a proposal to the Rashtrakuta king for joining troops with Mewar. Danti Durga, king of the Rashtrakuta kingdom, agreed to Nagabhata's proposal. The battle was fought between 5,000 to 6,000 Rajput, Gurjar, Kannada aligned troops, the soldiers. Historians claim that Bappa Rawal himself beheaded the Arab leader Amir Junaid during the war. This enhanced the morale of the Indian troops, while the Arabs, disorganized and demoralized due to their leader's death, retreated and were frequently attacked by local forces until they reached the Indus River, taking great casualties. The Arabs in Sindh took a long time to recover from this defeat. After this, the Arab chronicles admit that the Caliph Mahdi gave up the project of conquering the Indian subcontinent. The Arabs in Sindh lost all power and broke up into two warring Shia states of Mansura and Multan, both of which paid tribute to the Bhoja Pratiharas. The local resistance in Sindh, which had not yet died out and was inspired by the victories of their Indian neighbors, manifested itself when the foreign rulers were overthrown and Sindh came under its own dynasties like the Sumras and Samas. In the long term, Sindh becoming a Muslim state, leading to the forced conversion of Sindhis.